Imagine a room, but not just any room. This one is massive, filled with rows upon rows of towering metal cabinets. Lights flicker across thousands of vacuum tubes, and the air hums with a constant, powerful energy. This isn't a scene from a vintage sci-fi movie. This was the reality of ENIAC, the world's first general-purpose electronic computer. And today, we're pulling back the curtain on the secret life of this 30-ton giant. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Before we had supercomputers in our pockets, we had ENIAC. Its name stands for Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer, and calling it a game changer is a massive understatement. Unveiled to the public in 1946, ENIAC was a true technological marvel. A beast of a machine that weighed as much as 6 elephants and occupied a room the size of a small house. So, what was this behemoth built for? Its primary mission was top secret, calculating artillery firing tables for the U.S. Army during World War II. Before ENIAC, these complex calculations were done by hand by human computers. A painstaking process that could take days or even weeks for a single table. ENIAC could do it in minutes. It was designed to crunch numbers at speeds previously unimaginable, 1,000 times faster than any machine that came before it. To understand its power, you have to understand its components. ENIAC was a symphony of over 17,000 vacuum tubes, 70,000 resistors, 10,000 capacitors, and miles upon miles of hand-soldered wiring. Keeping it running was a monumental task. The vacuum tubes were notoriously unreliable. On average, one would fail every 2 days. A team of engineers had to constantly be on standby, hunting down the faulty tube among thousands to get the machine back online. The sheer heat generated by these tubes meant that a massive, custom-built air conditioning system was needed just to stop it from melting itself down. But here's one of the most fascinating and often overlooked secrets of ENIAC. The software was ENCODE like we know it today. There was no keyboard, no screen, no programming language. To program ENIAC, you had to physically rewire it. A team of 6 brilliant women, now known as the ENIAC 6, Kay McNulty, Betty Jennings, Betty Snyder, Marlon Westcoff, Fran Beeles, and Ruth Lichterman were the original programmers. They would receive blueprints of the machine and the mathematical problems, and their job was to figure out how to connect hundreds of cables and set thousands of switches to make the machine perform the right sequence of calculations. It was a complex physical puzzle that could take weeks to set up for a single problem. For decades, their crucial contribution was largely forgotten, often mistaken for models posing with the machine in old photographs. But they weren't models. They were the pioneers who breathed life into this electronic brain. When ENIAC was finally revealed to the world after the war, it was a sensation. Newspapers called it a giant brain. The public was mesmerized by its ability to perform calculations in the blink of an eye. It ran a weather forecast simulation, proved the practicality of the hydrogen bomb design, and even did early work in number theory. It was the dawn of the digital age, a moment when humanity proved that complex problems could be solved not just by human minds, but by machines of our own creation. However, ENIAC's design had its limits. The reliance on physical rewiring made it incredibly inflexible. Every time you wanted to run a new problem, you had to go through the arduous process of unplugging and replugging hundreds of cables. It was like rebuilding the machine from the ground up for each task. This was its biggest flaw. The solution came in 1948, when ENIAC was modified to store programs in its memory, just like the data it was processing. This concept, known as the stored program computer, was a revolutionary leap forward proposed by John von Neumann, who had been a consultant on the ENIAC project. This modification turned ENIAC from a one-trick pony into a much more versatile and powerful tool, paving the way for the architecture that virtually all modern computers use today. So, what happened to the 30-ton giant? After nearly a decade of faithful service, ENIAC was officially retired. On October 2, 1955, at 11:45 p.m., the power was shut off for the last time. The giant brain went silent, but its legacy was just beginning. It had proven that large-scale electronic computing was possible. It had inspired a generation of engineers and scientists to dream bigger. Pieces of the original machine are now preserved in museums around the world, including the Smithsonian. They are silent relics of a bygone era, testaments to the incredible journey from a room-sized calculator to the sleek devices we carry with us every day. The story of ENIAC isn't just about vacuum tubes and wires. It's a human story. It's about the brilliant minds who dared to build it, the forgotten women who first programmed it, and the visionaries who saw its potential to change the world. It's a reminder that every technological leap, no matter how small it seems in retrospect, stands on the shoulders of giants. And in the history of computing, there were few giants bigger or heavier than the 30-ton ghost ENIAC. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the history of technology. Let me know in the comments what other tech legends you'd like to see covered. Until next time, stay curious.